Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the Gerber Mini Covert. If at any time you're interested in purchasing this, I provided a link below, right to Amazon, runs about $36. Also below that link in the description box is a listing of all the different Gerber coverts that are available on Amazon. So let's go ahead and take a close look. This specific mini covert is a scaled down version of the full-size Gerber Applegate-Fairbairn Covert FAST that normally comes with a 3.7 inch blade. This one, the mini covert, has a 2.9 inch blade. Now this is Colonel Rex Applegate and William E. Fairbairn. That's their signature right there on their Applegate-Fairbairn. You'll see that a lot on a lot of knives with this design. Sort of looks like a dagger style design. And you know, they're known for the Applegate-Fairbairn fighting knife, like sort of a dagger looking blade. The Gerber Applegate-Fairbairn is a series that was designed by the late Colonel Rex Applegate, so he's passed away. He is basically an authority on close quarter combat and fighting knife design, so that's sort of what's designed into this knife. Now the standout features that I see when I purchase this knife is, number one, is its FAST technology, and that's Gerber's name for assisted opening. FAST stands for forward action spring technology. It's just another spring assist knife. There's other ones also available. There's ones that just open conventionally. There are others that are fully automatic, and you would recognize those by a silver button sort of in this area right here. Other things that stand out to me are these G10 scales. You can see it has stainless steel liners, but these scales are very nice. I like the symmetrical shape, just really cool. Some people might think it's kind of squarish and maybe not comfortable, but there is a little bit of beveling here, so it really does end up pretty comfortable for what it looks like. And then another thing which most people don't seem to mention, but I find intriguing, fascinating, and different, is that the blade folds entirely into the handle. You don't see that too often. I'm not saying it's not out there, you just don't see that often. You know, usually your blade sticks out of the handle just a bit on most folders, especially today. But this one folds totally into the scale. Other features of this knife is this pocket clip right here. You can see it's deep concealed carry, so it just about ends up all the way into your pocket. One low point to this knife, or con, is that this clip is not relocatable. So this is a tip down, right-handed carry only knife. It also has a safety lock. You can see there's a little red dot there. Red means hot. Red means fire. That means that you can deploy the knife. When you take this, the plunger release here, and put it in that position, it's locked. Now it gets a little confusing when you get this knife, because the same safety button or plunger switch here is the same switch that's utilized to release the blade so you can fold it. So it's a multi-purpose plunger switch right there. You also get a lanyard hole right there. It's not too large. You could squeeze 550 cord there, but it's going to take a little bit of work to get it through there. The blade is a spear point 2.9 inch blade, or some people might consider it a dagger. And it is this version here is a partially serrated. It has those cheesy Gerber serrations right there. However, they work fairly well. I can't complain too much. The steel utilized in this was kind of tricky to find, but I did find it because it's listed as 448 in some places, but it's not. It's 7CR17 MOV, which is a Chinese stainless steel that's comparable to 4 40A. You can see this particular version has a non-reflective black titanium coating on both sides. And it is a hollow grind knife. There is some flat area up here, so if you have a sharpening device that requires to be clamped onto your blade, that is no problem. You also have ambidextrous thumb studs right there that also serve as a blade stop. And I'll go ahead and let you take a look at that right there. You can see how those thumb studs end up resting against the scales and prevents the blade from going up any further. G10 scales, nicely textured with some nice lines sort of engraved in there. Very well done. You have looks like torque screw construction right there to disassemble, including a torque screw for the pivot screw. Dimensions of this knife when it's fully closed is 3.95 inches. Overall length, that's when deployed, is 6.85 inches. Weight is a rather light weight, 3.2 ounces, which is a good weight for a knife this size. And again, the handle is nice G10 scales. Other things that I'm noticing here is that there is a G10 spacer in the back with Gerber's name on it. Nice touch. So let's go ahead and go into the tests. First things that we'll check is blade centering. So go ahead and fold this up. And you can see right there, blade centering is fine. Let's go. As far as retention, it's held in there pretty good. You have to, basically get this out to about this far on the assisted opening. Looks like about 25 degrees. And you can also lock it. So if you're worried about retention, you could use that blade release that also acts as a safety. And when you don't see a red dot, that means you're safe. When you see that evil red dot, that means you're ready to deploy. Lockup is very good for a knife this style. There is the ever so slight, actually I'm not even feeling it right now. There was a little bit up and down. I guess that worked out. So no side to side, no up and down. I'm going to let you go ahead and take a look at the spring in there just a little bit, see what's going on. I don't know if you could see anything, but just sort of show off the way that looks. See, there's a post there. That's just to support things. It's not a blade stop. Like I said, it's the thumb studs. Okay, so next thing we can check is how sharp it is out of the box. There's not too much plain edge going on here, but it is practical because when you're down on a cutting surface cutting, the plain edge area that's here is where you want it to be, and then you have your serrations to cut rope or 5/50 quarter or whatever you need to cut there. So it's proportionally correct. Looks like about a 50 or 60-40 basically as far as the cutting edge area on this knife. Okay, very, very sharp out of the box there. It was push cutting there. Can it take care of hair? Lucky I am a hairy guy, so we can see if it shaves. And yep, we're shaving. I have hair everywhere. Next thing, I'm going to do an extra test. Maybe I'll incorporate this in every one of my tests here. We'll go ahead and see if it takes care of cardboard fine, which it does. Whoops. Alright, so we cut cardboard fine, no problem. Next test. Wood stabbing. This is very soft pine. And this is more of a light duty knife, so I'm not going to go too crazy here. I just want to make sure that the tip doesn't break off too easily. Just think of this as like picking something out of a tree or something like that. Normally you wouldn't want to abuse your knives like this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just to see how well the point stands up. And it looks like it stands up quite fine. So there is one big con to this knife that sort of irks me. A lot of people it probably wouldn't bother at all, and that's the way the spring assist works. And I did put some oil in here to see if I could get rid of it, but listen, you could listen to this. That's sort of the spring moving around inside there as it's tensioning up as you fold the knife. You know, it sort of has a ever so slightly gritty feeling. Best way to describe it. I don't like that. I wish they sort of made it a little quiet. I noticed that in a lot of reviews on this knife on the internet. There are others that sort of complain about this, while other people don't mind at all. So there you have it, the mini Covert Applegate-Fairbairn FAST. There are a lot of words to describe the knife. But I like it. It's very fun to use. And again, the feature that I really just think is so cool is how the blade is totally in the handle. You don't see that too often in many designs, and it's different, so I like it. I don't think I missed anything as far as you know, pros and cons there, so I think that's it. So if you're interested, again, the link is provided in the description box below, along with a link below that takes you to all the different Gerber Applegate-Fairbairn knives that are on Amazon. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and you know it, especially you. And I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.